Hey guys, I'm Deepthi and today's video is gonna be on brushes and brush set that is available in the Indian market for less than 1000 rupees. So the first set of brushes are from this seller called Generic Makeup. I will link all these in the description box below because I don't really remember. With Amazon, it's like you get the same brushes but there will be different sellers, so it's just up to you what you want to buy and the price point. So these brushes were for about 495 rupees. Puna store also sells these makeup brushes, but that is for about 700 rupees. So I just wanted to buy something that is a little more affordable. So you get 5 face brushes and 5 eye brushes. So the shape of these eye brushes are very similar to the face brushes. So let me talk about each one of them quickly one by one. I have tried all these brushes. I have washed it a couple of times as well, so I kind of have a good opinion about it. So the first one that I'm going to be talking about is this flat top brush. It's not very dense, but the bristles are not like very sparsely packed. They are pretty decent. So I use this for foundation at times, but if your foundation is very runny, you will get those streaks on your face when you use this brush. And I also use this for concealer on a daily basis. It blends it out pretty well. It does absorb a little bit of product, but it's not too much. It's kind of negligible. So the next brush I have is this kind of a weird shaped brush, which I thought I would never get a use out of. So when I use a brush which kind of gives those streaky marks on my face, I use this over it just to get rid of that streakiness because it's kind of dense and compact. It blends out the foundation really fast. So I use this sometimes when I want to apply my bronzer as well, like when I want it to be in like a certain area and not spread out. So the next brush I have are these two brushes, which I kind of like don't understand the purpose of this. You can't really apply a foundation with this. You cannot apply a concealer with this, nor do you use this for contour because it doesn't give a very good contouring effect. So these two brushes, which are like kind of like a angled kabuki brush, I don't really like. I don't really find a point of using this. And the last face brush that I have is this pointed brush, which is very thick and very dense and it's very stiff, so you cannot use this for a lot of purposes. What I use this for is sometimes to blend my concealer underneath my eyes, but it doesn't do a very good job in blending out the concealer. But I use this to set the concealer underneath my eyes, and when I want to blend out the concealer around my mouth and all that, that's the only time that I can use this. But if I have to blend out the concealer underneath my eyes, I don't really like this one. Now moving on to the eye brushes. The first one is this kind of a dense concealer brush, which I use to apply like concealer on my eyes and blend it out. And I also use this for like placing my initial transition shade. It applies the product really well, it picks it up really well and packs a punch. So I really like this, but you cannot really use this for blending purposes as such, like when you want to blend your eyeshadow. But when you want to place your transition and just give a good wash of color on your eyes, you can use this. The next brush which I really like is this one, which I use this when I want to place again a transition shade, or I also use this for blending purposes. But remember guys, like if you want to use this for like very intricate eye makeup, exact precision and blending and all that, you can't use this. If you are a beginner and you want your eyeshadow looks to be blended, you're not going to be using too many colors, you can use these brushes. But if you want to have that kind of pro feel to your eye makeup, you will not get that with these brushes. So the next brush that I have is this kind of pointed brush, which I use for my lower lash line, just to apply color, blend it out. It is good for blending, but if you want to place some color, this will bring it up way too low because it's a very big brush. These two brushes again are just like those slanted kabuki brush, which I don't really understand the purpose. Now what do I think about these brushes in general? Do I think it's worth the money? I wouldn't like completely complain because there are brushes that I do like from this, which I do use on a regular basis and I do use it quite often, and I have washed it a couple of times as well. There is shedding. I wouldn't say that there's no shedding at all, and the bristles are like uneven. Like you can see some bristles are poking out of it. They're uneven. But for the price point, I wouldn't complain. For 495 rupees, you get at least like 6 brushes that really work and do the job for you. And if you want like complete precision when you're applying your makeup, these brushes won't do it for you. But if you are a beginner and you are like looking to invest in brushes and you find that there are too many brushes and they're too expensive, you can go for this. But remember, you get what you pay for. You will not be like super impressed with it, but you won't be completely disappointed with these brushes as well. So the next brush is like this single fluffy brush that I got from Lifestyle. It's from their home brand, I think. I really like this brush when I want to powder my face. Like I can just quickly dip this brush into the powder and apply it on my face and it quickly sets it. It's a very nice brush. I have washed it, there's no shedding, but when I got it and if I do this, this part comes off, but this was for about 200 rupees, so I wouldn't complain, and it was actually my fault because this one was kind of out of the box. I really like this. I use this for powdering my face pretty much every day. So the next set of brushes are from Puna store. I have reviewed this. I have made an entire video comparing this and the Real Techniques brush. These look identical to the Real Techniques brushes, so if you are wondering if it's similar, then you might want to check out that video because I talk about this in detail. I really like this brush. I'm so glad that I actually bought it. I got this for 450 rupees, but you can get it for much lesser price sometimes, like they price it around 350 and all that. It's worth the money. And if you're very skeptical about buying these generic makeup brushes, you can go ahead and buy this one because you can get your money's worth in this. Except this foundation brush, these three brushes are amazing. This I use it to blend out my concealer, which it does an amazing job, does it perfectly. And I also use this to highlight my face. This one I use it for foundation, bronzer, powder, blush, everything. If your foundation is again very runny, kind of makes it a little bit streaky. And this is a detailer brush which you can use to kind of like apply concealer around your mouth when you've messed up your lipstick or like line your lips or something like that. And I would highly recommend you check this one out. So the next set of brushes are, I don't know from which brand, I would want to say it's Finovo or something like that. Again, similar to those generic makeup brushes, it comes with the exact same brush. This was for 230 rupees. I got this set before I got those other brushes, so that's the reason I have like two similar brushes. I just like only one brush in this. Other than that, these other brushes, I don't really use it that much. I sometimes use it when I just want to blend out my crease, but it doesn't do a very good job, so I would recommend not buying this. Just if you're getting that set, you don't have to go out and buy this one. So the next 5 brushes are again from Puna store. This is very similar to the Real Techniques brush, but this is for the eyes. And here you get like a good dome shaped brush, which is really nice when you want to pack on color on your eyelid. This is again very nice when you want to blend your crease color. I don't really use this angled brush, but you can use this to fill in your brows. And then this is again like a smaller detailer brush, which is very handy. This is again like a shader brush, but a lot more fluffy. I use this to apply color on my outer corner or to blend out the crease. So this does both the things, like you can apply the eyeshadow and also blend it at the same time. So I use this one for that. And this one is a liner brush, which I hardly ever use, but this one was for again 450 rupees, and I think it's worth the money if you are a beginner and looking to invest in eye brushes. So the last set of brushes that I will be talking about are these Puna store brushes. This is that oval brush set, and this was for, I want to say it was for 900 or something. Now I haven't played around with this all that much to like give a complete opinion, but I have tried it quite a few times to actually tell you guys what I think about these brushes. These are like the 5 face brushes that you get, similar in shape, just of different sizes. Now this brush, you can use it to blend out your foundation, but it can be a little too big. So what I would suggest using this is for powder. The other brush is like a little bit smaller than this and a little bigger than the other brush. This brush again, you can use it to blend out your foundation, but it does make your foundation a little bit streaky and it does absorb a lot of product. Now the third brush that they have in this is, as you guys can see, a little bit smaller than this brush. I've tried to use this for bronzer and contouring. It doesn't really work for it. It doesn't really blend it out really well. This is the fourth brush, which you can see it's much smaller than all of these brushes. This is what I try to use for my concealer. It did a pretty decent job, but it's not great. And I also try to like contour with this. These brushes work better with cream products rather than powder products. And the last one is like much smaller than this one as well. This I feel is like precise to get into the inner corner of your eye and blend the concealer out. And then coming to the eye brushes, which I don't really like these brushes for eyeshadow, like to blend eyeshadows. I don't really use this. So would I recommend this brush set to you guys? No, absolutely not. But if you probably want to try out something like this, because it does kind of make your work a little faster, like when you want to blend out your foundation, not that it gives a flawless application, I would recommend just like buying individual brushes. Puna store does sell these kind of brushes individually for about 200 rupees. Try getting that, see if you like it. So you can probably use that one brush for multiple purposes. You don't have to go out and buy this set for 900 something rupees, and you don't get complete use out of all these brushes. So just getting one brush would be enough. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Do let me know if you want me to try out any other brushes, brush set, and review it for you guys. I will do it. So don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.